So you probably heard the saying, what you focus on grows, but are you focusing on the right things? In fact, what are you focusing on? Well, when it comes to business, many business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals spend a lot of time doing a lot of work and they're trying to achieve certain goals and they're not always paying attention to the right things. And just like Neo in the Matrix, paying attention and really knowing what to focus on, you can change what's possible. You can elevate performance. You can enhance progress towards achieving your goals. So, in this video, I'm going to be sharing how to select the most important metrics to focus on because you might be a little bit surprised to know that more data isn't necessarily better. A lot of times, more data can overwhelm you. So let's get focused on what would provide the most value. All right, first thing we're going to look at is this is one of the key disciplines of execution. And if you haven't seen that video yet, you definitely want to check that video out. Getting the 4 disciplines of execution in action will help you achieve better results. And one of them is to focus on the key performance drivers, the lead metrics. And these are the metrics that influence and predict a result, right? So if you want to just pay attention to the end result, that's helpful, right? If you're looking to generate a certain amount of money, it's helpful to pay attention. Am I there yet? Did I achieve my goal? But what's more important is to focus on the actions and the metrics that will influence and predict the result. Because when you put attention here, this is what you can control, and that will lead you to the end result. Right? So we've got key performance drivers. These are the actions that will influence and predict a result. For example, the number of contacts that you make, the number of connections you make, the number of people that you're having conversations with. And the key performance indicators, KPIs, are the results. For example, the number of sales or the amount of sales. So we want to pay attention to the key performance drivers that drive the results and really focus our attention there because that's going to be the actions that we could take that will lead us to the results we want. So when we're selecting the most important metrics, we've got to clearly remind ourselves, what is the goal that we're reaching out to achieve? What are we trying to achieve? And then we want to select the 1 to 3 KPDs, key performance drivers, in 1 to 3 KPIs, right? To measure progress of the focus goal that we're looking to move forward. Now, you can get dashboards and you can get a lot of different things that will give you data in a lot of different areas, but many times it's overwhelming to see all these different metrics. You can't make sense of it. So the more focus you can get on which ones would have the most impact, the better. So really getting clear on what your goal is and then thinking what would be the metrics that would be most important to track. So let me give you a walkthrough example. Let's say you had a goal defined for the quarter to generate an additional $100,000 in revenue selling the new $10,000 professional service package within the next 90 days. So it's a SMART goal because it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's results focused, and it's in a time frame. And if you haven't seen that training yet, definitely make sure that you watch that because you want to set clear goals before you're really trying to take clear actions or measure things, right? So then you have the goal defined. Pardon me, making extra sound here. You have the goal defined, and you got to pay attention to the KPDs. What are the actions that you'll take that will influence and predict the result? You might come up with a few different strategies. You could say, well, one thing I've got to do, I got to put time towards prospecting because if I'm just randomly going out and trying to connect with a lot of different people, but I'm not connecting with the right people, then that's not going to be helpful. You might say, number 2, I'm going to put in time for outreach and do a certain numbers of outreach to connect with people to have conversations. And number 3, I might need to attend and get involved with different engagement activities, maybe networking activities where you're getting in front of people and having conversations. So you can define what those actions are and track those and then measure the results that leads to, say, the number of appointments, the number of sales, and the sales, the dollar amount, right? So let's look at the numbers of how this breaks down in this example, because we can calculate success by reverse engineering the numbers you'd need in order to achieve the success based on your existing knowledge of past performance. So, for example, if someone's looking to generate under $100,000 in sales, they know they would need to make at least 10 sales. And if they know that their lead to sales conversion rate is 20%, they know they need to have at least 50 appointments. So right there, they know the results they need to get in order to achieve the goal. But if you're just paying attention to the results, again, you're not paying attention to the things that the actions that you can take that will influence and predict the results. So we've got to reverse engineer and think through the KPDs, or key performance drivers, that we could take to achieve those results. So for example, you might say, all right, I'm going to go to 10 networking or do 10 networking activities. I'm going to do 120 outreach. And before that, I'm going to do 8 hours of prospecting. So I know that I'm going to connect with the right people. A percentage of those people are going to lead into appointments based on my past contact to appointment percentage, based on my past networking activities that gets me in front of ever so many people, which leads to X amount of appointments. Now, here's the thing. You will take some time to identify these metrics. You want to put them into a scoreboard. And if you haven't watched the scoreboard training, you definitely want to watch that, because you want to track these things so that you're making progress and know that you're achieving your result. So you grow what you focus on. And it's okay that if you sometimes have to guess because you don't have the prior knowledge, it's okay to be wrong and learn from the process. You'll be better off knowing what your goal is, selecting some strategies, and then taking those actions to achieve a result, tracking the progress, and being off, and maybe you didn't quite hit the result, but you learned in the process, than you would be if you just kind of willy-nilly see what happens. So this is part of the disciplines of execution. When you sharpen your process and optimize your systems, you'll optimize the results that you get. When we change the actions that we're taking, we'll get different results. So when you focus on really honing in, continually finding ways to improve, making small, subtle changes in many different areas, that's how you're going to achieve different results. That's how you're going to amplify your business. So if you haven't seen the video yet on how to lead a team to execute more effectively, definitely check out that video. We're looking for thought leaders to contribute to Growth Amplifier. So if you have something that you'd like to contribute, put something down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe. We highly appreciate that. And then remember, it's not enough to just watch a video. You got to put these ideas into action. We facilitate an accountability group to help people develop these principles, to really strengthen them, become part of who they are, to get a better result. And we want you to do the same. You don't have to do everything all in one day, but take one action from here, put it into action, and then love to see in the comments the things that you've developed, the skills you've developed, and the growth that you've achieved by implementing these ideas. We appreciate you and what you do. Thanks for your support.